Going solar. It's one of the top ways for you to achieve sustainable living. But do you know where to start or what information you should know when selecting the right solar panels for your home? Well, the perfect guest is joining us today as I'm sitting down with Nate Sweet, Regional Sales Manager of LG Solar. So without further ado, please help me welcome Nate.
The home design and remodeling show. It's the one.
Wait, hold on. Before we start, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. That way you can stay up to date on all of the latest tips, trends, information, and inspiration right here in South Florida. So subscribe now and stay up to date. Nate, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you, Adam. Great to be here. I
Abs-
appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's great having you. And the thing is, it's like talking about solar. It's one of the top products, services. It's one of the top conversations down here, especially in South Florida. But, I couldn't be more excited to be speaking with you. But let's start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself and also about LG Solar.
Great. Thank you, Adam. My name is Nate Sweet. I'm the Regional Sales Manager for LG Solar, which is the solar division of LG Electronics. We manufacture high-efficiency, beautiful, high-performing, durable panels that quite a few homeowners throughout the South Florida region are using. Just like the rest of the products in the LG portfolio, LG solar panels are of high quality and have the same kind of customer satisfaction ratings and things like that you would expect from an LG product. We offer the best-in-class 25-year warranty, and being at LG, it's an exciting place to be. Not only do we have like solar products and home energy products, but we're also on the forefront of the appliances and electronics businesses. It's a great place to be here today.
Absolutely. It's an impressive brand. Everyone knows it. But when talking about solar specifically, what should all homeowners know when considering going solar?
Well, there's a number of reasons that people go solar. And if you really boil it down, the two primary reasons are an environmental consciousness and a financial reason, right? On the environmental side, people see going solar as a way to do their part to curb greenhouse gas emissions, make the world better for generations to come. On the financial side, people understand that it saves them money. There are investments that they're making today that they will pay down like they would pay their utility bill for a few years, and then have a much lower cost of living because they are eliminating a large portion of their electrical spend.
Absolutely. And when talking about the money aspect, financial side, as far as achieving an ROI, how does that work? How long does it take? Is there a typical amount of time that it takes to achieve the ROI?
Yeah, well, every home is unique, but generally for the first 10 years or so, your annual investment in solar will be in line with what you would typically spend for your electricity bill. And I say generally, a lot of this is dependent around the amount of energy you use every month, the financing mechanism that you use to finance the system, and the cost for your individual home to do the installation.
Absolutely. And the thing is, everyone, when they're making improvements, when they're, updating their home, they're thinking about, the return in the sense of the real estate aspect. Would you say, like, when somebody's selling a home, would you say that that's a feature of a home, or how would you say it impacts the real estate aspect of it?
Well, and that's actually something very interesting. Initially, the first few years where solar was becoming prominent, it was a little bit vague, and people didn't understand it very well. Now that people are looking at solar and understand it a little bit better, when a homeowner is selling their home, they need to communicate what the value of that solar array is on a monthly basis to the prospective buyer. And when they do that, they find that they can sell their homes for more. And a recent study done by Zillow shows that in the Orlando market, which is pretty close to the central market we're talking about here, homeowners pay on average $11,000 more for a home that already has solar than a equal type home that doesn't.
That's an incredible stat. And the thing is, it's like, when looking at every aspect of the home, they're all different selling points. But when people are seeing something that eventually, it will make them money. Well, you're saving money, you're not spending as much on that, but that's a great stat. I haven't heard that stat yet, but that's amazing. Would you say that solar is for everyone?
Yes and no. I would say that solar is right for most homeowners. In most cases, like we had talked about, the loan payments will be in line with what they're used to paying for electricity. If you don't own your own home, that's a lot more complicated. You can't put solar on your landlord's property. It just doesn't make sense. But community solar is coming. It'll be something that you'll start seeing in Florida probably in the years to come, but it's not quite there yet.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And then, when looking at how the system works, something that I see a lot of people might not know, like say the sun's not out every day. If you have a more cloudy week or month or whatever it is, how does the systems actually perform during those times?
That's a good question. So even though the sun isn't bright and shining on any particular day, your solar system's still going to be producing 10 to 25% of what it would have normally produced on a sunny day. When you're working with a solar professional, they're going to be able to model out based on historical environmental conditions in your home's location. They're going to be able to model out what your annual energy production should be. One day sunny, one day is not so sunny, the same way it's been in the past. This is something that the government has invested a lot of money into modeling and providing that information for users. And most solar professionals can give you an accurate estimate for what your home is going to produce.
Absolutely. That's incredible, because the thing is, talking about professionals specifically, improving one's own home, it's intimidating, it's overwhelming. Most projects, it doesn't turn out to be fun until it's complete. But when looking to find the right professional, would you say that there's certain questions that a homeowner should ask or be thinking about when interviewing and really talking to possible installation companies?
Yeah, I'd recommend everyone to do their homework, do their web homework. Go out and look at the company's web presence, and not just their own website. Look at the Better Business Bureau. Look at some of the reference sites that can show you what others have experienced when working with that particular contractor. Find out how long they've been in business, see if they have NABCEP certifications, the trainings that, ensure that they have a higher quality level when it comes to what your experience could be.
Absolutely. That's a great point. And, when looking at that, diving into, the part that LG truly specializes in, which is the product part and, the actual systems itself. Are there certain questions when a homeowner's looking at, talking to different professionals, looking at all different systems, are there certain questions that you would say are most important when evaluating the system that gets installed?
Yeah. So after you vetted the contractor, start asking some details about what they're actually proposing. Some contractors put details into the proposals themselves. Some are a little bit more vague. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Find out what that installer is going to be installing on your home. Different products have different warranties, have different places that they're manufactured. How do you contact that manufacturer if something does go wrong? All of those type of things you're going to want to vet so you're comfortable in the decision that you ultimately make and selecting the product that you pick.
Absolutely, because the thing is, it's not just the installer you're hiring, it's the manufacturer and who's standing behind the product. But, talking about the actual construction of the panels and how it's made and really what goes into it, are there certain qualities of a panel or the system overall that is more valuable, or, what goes into the construction of the actual panel?
Okay, so think about it in similar to like a car, right? It's the design and the materials used, right? Is this product going to stand the test of time? The performance and degradation are two things that are a little bit different than the car terminology. But when you think about solar panels, you have to think about how much power is this panel going to produce over the life of the system. You're making a large investment. You want to make sure that the system that you select is going to continue to produce at a very high level over multiple decades. In Florida, you run into a pretty unique situation because of the wind loading that you have in Florida. You have storms and some conditions that other states don't have. After Andrew, the Florida building departments started looking at what materials are being used and scrutinize it much more heavily than other areas of the country. You know, our modules have been designed so that you can install the LG panels on the rooftop in high wind zones without putting a lot more of attachments on the roofs that other manufacturers would need.
Okay, and as far as that goes into like the rest of the installation, like whether it's the inverters or whatever it might be, you know, what other components, or, you know, what is there a certain component of the system that you would say that a homeowner should put the most value on?
Well, to break it back down into the financial side of it, right? Yep. The two things that have the greatest determination on the return on investment would be the panels and will be the inverters. So when you talk about the panels, you're thinking about the brand, the quality, the warranty associated with those products. On the inverter side, you're going to be looking at the, you know, how is that inverter designed? Is it a central architecture, or is it a distributed architecture like microinverters? Jumping back to panel, there's different technologies out there. There's N-type, which is what LG manufactures. LG manufactures the high quality N-type cells, which do produce a little bit more power over the entire life of the system, as well as handle things like heat better than the traditional P-type panels that you would see in the market today.
And I've noticed, I mean, just looking at LG specifically, I know that you have a few different styles. I mean, some of them obviously are a different design. You know, I've seen, you know, you guys have some that are all black as far as the different cells. What's the difference when you look at the variation of, is it mostly aesthetics, or is there technical factors that go into the looks of it as well?
So a lot of the decision is really aesthetics. Okay, yeah. So we do have white backsheets and black backsheet product. Oh, wow. The black backsheet product is a little bit more sleek, but yeah, you do have a little bit of loss in production when you go to a black backsheet product. With the bifacial cells that we use, it's not a bifacial panel, but bifacial cells that you use, you do have some reflection that comes off of the white backsheet that ends up being absorbed into the panels themselves. So you do have a little bit more kick. Yep. With the white backsheet product, and it's the most popular product in the southeastern United States. The black backsheet product, you're not going to be able to get as many watts and get as much yield out of that same area of your rooftop, but it does have a more black, more slick appearance.
Absolutely. And, you know, when looking at the installation process, when somebody chooses to install panels on their roof, you know, a lot of people might concern, especially drilling into a roof and things like that. What can people expect when it comes to the installation of putting panels on a roof? Okay,
so just to start at the very highest level, in the installation process, there's some steps up front that the installer will handle for the homeowner that are important to know going in. You know, the contractor is going to have to apply for a utility interconnect, which is where they go and say, hey, utility, we're going to backfeed our electricity onto the grid. And they're also going to have to get a building permit like you would in most construction projects. This process could take a few weeks, and generally, you know, it could take 4 to 6 weeks, and depending on what part of Florida you're in. And typically the installers are going to communicate to you what their experience is given the area that your home is in. Once they do have approval, based on the construction timeline, the actual installation goes relatively quickly. It's only a day or a few days, depending on how big your home and your system is.
That's great.
After they're done with that, they have to go through the inspection process, and they'll be out. And part of that inspection process is, are they putting the right materials onto your rooftop so you aren't going to have leaks? Did they design the structure so that it can withstand the wind loading that is needed in Florida? So there's some pretty strict guidelines that go into what the inspection process and design process is from the AHJ's perspective.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's like a lot of different things, and it all comes down to the professional that you're hiring when they're doing, you know, the analysis and how many panels are needed and things like that, the types of panels. But, you know, what can you tell us when it comes to the different exposures, or which way a panel should be facing, and how to really maximize productivity?
Okay, assuming the panel's facing up, but going from that, beyond that, the most installations in the northern hemisphere are going to want to be facing in the southerly direction, not the northerly direction. But that doesn't mean you have to have a south-facing roof. That's a popular misconception. Because Florida does have as much irradiation as it does, it's a sunshine state. And it has the roofs that are very forgiving when it comes to what your yields are. You know, even if you have an east and a west facing rooftop, solar still works. The thing that people get hung up on is when you do have a perfectly south facing roof, you can offset more of your power with fewer panels.
Okay.
But as you know, the costs of solar have come down quite a bit. People are doing more things and putting panels in more places to offset more and more of the homeowner's energy so that they have a greater return over the life of their system.
That's amazing. And going back to the system, you briefly mentioned it before. Word on the street is that not all warranties are created equal. What can you tell us about what LG truly offers?
Sure. So LG offers the best-in-class triple 25 warranty, which covers workmanship, performance, and labor. And it's all backed by LG Electronics. This is the same company that is making refrigerators, appliances, electronics. It's the same company. Because LG offers long-term warranties, homeowners are given a greater degree of security that their system is going to perform well over the 25 years. And, you know, from a support standpoint, the support group that supports LG Solar from a warranty perspective is located actually in the same facility as our factory in Huntsville, Alabama.
Great. Very good. And then when it comes to the panels itself and you know, obviously the warranty, does LG offer, or is there some type of maintenance or anything that homeowners should be worried about, or is it set it and forget?
Most of it's set it and forget it. You know, the reality is some people talk about cleaning panels and things like that. For the most part, nature helps us clean those panels. You know, when dust and debris end up on the panels, wind and rain come along to remove them. And at the bottom of the panel, some people don't know that the panels do have holes in the very bottoms of them. In order to weep out the water and the dirt that could accumulate on the surface, so that it does actually clean the panels and wash them off. So it is pretty much a set it and forget it type product.
That's amazing. It makes it easy because that's, you know, obviously always a concern for homeowners anytime they're doing any project. But, you know, something that everyone always thinks about, doesn't matter what type of project it is, but specifically solar, you hear about a lot of different rebates out there. You know, what can you tell us in regards to what is available to the market these days?
So today, the biggest incentive is the federal tax credit. And for the next 2 years, you're going to be able to claim a portion of what you spend on your solar system on your taxes. So this year, if you do an installation for solar in 2020, you can claim up to 26% of your system's value on your taxes, which greatly reduces the overall expense and allows you to reach your return on investment much more quickly. Next year, it does drop down a little bit from 26% down to 22%. You know, and there are a lot of creative financing mechanisms out there that allow you to bridge that time frame, as well as set your purchasing, pay for the system the way that you want to, you know. So right now is an ideal time to look at solar and buy solar, because it is going to be more affordable right now than it probably will be for another 5 or 6 years once the tax credit goes away.
Absolutely. And the thing is, like, as far as financing the overall projects, I mean, we've all heard about all these different great PACE programs that are available. You know, what can you say in regards to just overall financing and how it's, you know, really helped the solar industry, but also homeowners?
Yeah, so that has been a humongous change that's happened in the past 5 years. And there's a lot of different options available, like PACE, like you had mentioned. But there are a ton of different loan products that are, you know, where it was something that was a rather unique offering a few years ago, where people were having to go to credit unions and be creative and come up with ways to do it. There's a lot of off-the-shelf products from a credit and finance standpoint that can fit your needs depending on what you're looking for.
Absolutely. And, obviously we've gotten so much information from you today. If somebody wants to specifically use LG products or really look further, where can someone go to find an installation professional that focuses with you guys, or, how to get a consultation?
All right, thanks for asking. LG.com/solar is a great resource. You'll be able to find a listing of LG Pro professionals when you type in your zip code for your area. And then you can interview and talk to those professionals, see who's the right fit for you, who you're the most comfortable with. LG also offers a concierge service, which can help you go through the process in selecting the right system and the right contractor for your own home's individual needs.
And as far as on your website, I noticed when I was taking a look that there's actually some first steps and ways to be able to calculate and look at everything. I mean, what can you share in regards to that?
Yeah, so there's some very simple tools that you can use to get a feel for it, and also take that information once you've gotten a feel for it and go to the next step. Have a contractor reach out to you. So we've tried to make it as simple and as unintimidating as we can. It really is an unintimidating product, but as in anything that's brand new, you're buying your first solar system. It's not like you're going out and buying your second or third refrigerator or car or something like that. Most people are buying solar for the first time, so it can be pretty intimidating.
Absolutely, but the fact that it lasts, giving a 25-year warranty is incredible. But when looking at everything that we've discussed today, is there anything specifically that we didn't cover that you wanted to touch on before?
No, just to remember that going into your first purchase of solar, it's going to be uncomfortable, but trust yourself and understand that, you can ask stupid questions. I ask stupid questions every day. Do the things that feel right to you. When you ask your installer, trust me, they have heard just about everything. So ask the questions, be inquisitive, and if something doesn't feel right, go on and ask somebody else. So trust yourself, and you're making the right decision for the financial and environmental reasons.
Absolutely, because the thing is, the key to everything is do your homework, ask questions, and make sure whoever you end up working with as far as installing systems, make sure that they work for you, and obviously looking out for your best interest. But again, share with us the website. Best way to contact LG and the professionals again is
LG.com/solar.
Perfect. So Nate, I can't thank you enough. I know that for myself, for all of the viewers watching, it's a lot more comfortable, a lot better going into the solar process. You've offered amazing insight, information, the panels, everything that LG offers is incredible. But I want to thank you. I want to thank all the viewers for tuning in again for another series of At Home with the Home Show. You all can always check us out on our social media at FL Home Shows or on our website at homeshows.net. You can always tune in for all the next series of At Home with the Home Show. But Nate, again, thank you so much. You guys are amazing, and keep inspiring, but keep innovating. You guys are a leader in the industry.
Thanks, Adam. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Thanks again.